Ladies and gentlemen, I as a liberal man am proud to announce our first black guest,
What's up?
Mr. Abraham.
Or Nicholas?
Abraham.
No, I'm calling him Abraham
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he's a black Israelite.
Yeah.
Abraham,
Nicholas, Nick, Johnny.
Nick, Dick,
Yeah, something.
John,
Abra.
Abraham. I'm a little disappointed he's not using his native African voice. My name is Abraham Ovasuma.
I cannot do that. You know that.
We have to do the mandatory thing, as always. We have to say thank you for joining into the
Yeah.
podcast.
Fuck you. Yeah.
And very important, as we mentioned, we have a guest, which is a rare occurrence with us, Mr. Abraham / Nick / whatever the fuck he said earlier.
Nick the Dick the Abraham.
I'm just gonna call him Abraham because that sounds bad.
I'm gonna call him Abe.
Yeah,
for it.
that's also.
Hello,
that's also
Abe.
good.
What's it feel like being called Abe?
The same.
The same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interestingly, in our language, we can actually call it in our language Abraham as well, Abe. There, it does sound different,
But yeah, but it would-
But it's weird.
It would sound Abe.
Yeah.
It's difficult to translate it.
It is.
Hey, Abe. My name is Abe.
I usually have something always prepared for a podcast.
No, you
because I
don't,
have
you
to-
fucking liar.
I have-
No, you
I
don't.
always
No,
have.
you don't.
The avid and the constant consumer of the podcast know I'm the one that's keeping everything in track. So
I consume things too.
I will start things off with a very short story before I met Abraham.
Yeah,
or
fuck the
Abe.
guest. Fuck 'em.
I met Cross, and I've heard a lot of things
Don't
about him.
Don't point your fingers at me.
And it's worth mentioning, since we're a podcast that covers a shit ton of variety.
Yeah.
You did play tabletop RPGs before.
Yeah, I think I was the first one to play with Mr. Cross. over here.
Did I lead?
I think not.
No, not the first.
Yes, yeah, I think
Hey,
it is
honey,
because
baby, you weren't my first.
in-
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. I think the first time was in high school.
Yeah,
The
I
first
was
year.
I was actually visiting some cousins in Krushevitz, and we were all drunk, and they were like, "Hey, you want to play some Dungeons and Dragons?" And I'm like, "No, I heard it was gay."
Yeah.
They're like, "No, it's not gay." I'm like, "All right, prove it." And we played it, and yeah, it was still gay, but it was fun. And then I brought
couple of months
I brought
later,
the
yeah.
disease
Yeah,
to
I know
Parachin.
he came to us and he asked, "Yo, would you like to play Dungeons and Dragons?" We were like, "What the fuck is that?"
Look at this correction that I'm gonna do. Look at this correction. Like this.
Oh, Mr. Producer,
Okay.
Mr. Producer.
I apologize.
And he's a handsy producer. He like
Yeah,
grab you
and-
and shit. Like, hey, could
and-
you just
Get the microphone.
could you just
And after that, it was history. I mean, the first campaign that we started was what, 1 year and 6 months.
1 year and a couple of months
Yeah.
of playing every fucking week, sometimes several times a week, skipping school.
From Monday to Friday, it was school. Saturday and Sunday, we had a guy that had an apartment right across high school, and we all went there and started playing for
When you-
about 7-8 hours a day.
When you started playing tabletop RPGs, was it strange for you? The feeling?
No, because a lot of games that I play were close to that kind of game. Video games, I say, WoW, League of Legends, and something like that. I had the basic knowledge for, I don't know, medieval time or what do you say, elves, orcs, or
Elves,
something.
orcs, and all the other undesirable races.
But it was strange because at that time you only have like what, a paper, you have some strange dices and something like that.
Yeah, but when I started off, and
We had one set of dice
I
for
remember
4
that.
people. It was fucking shit. I loved it. And then I vacuumed the apartment and I lost the D20. So we rolled damage with the other dice. And the D20 we used application. It was gay as shit. And also, I was such a retard DM. I'd be like, hey, you find a magical dagger that pulses with a purple heart of a dark god. You're like, wow, what damage does it do? I'm like, 2d8 plus 1d10 and plus 7. And they're like, whoa. And I'm like, what the fuck? I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, we were basically noobs at the start. I know because besides him, nobody knew what the dices were for.
I was the first, man.
Yeah.
I capitalized on a market, man. When we started playing that shit, people in our high school, they were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, dude.
Yeah, it's just
Leave us alone. But we were chads. We were fucking chuds. We were like big boys. So we didn't get bullied. They're like, people, hey, you're a nerd. And I'm like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? Like, nothing.
Yeah. This is the story I was going to say to you. I think it was like 4 or 5 months into the campaign, and we had a group chat with him with TTM, but we had separate group chat, the 3 players.
They had a segregated group chat.
And let's not spoil what happened in the campaign. This dude texts me, our friend. This dude texts me like 3 or 4 a.m. and just like, what do you think? It's this character, who he belongs. And I'm like, dude, let me sleep. I don't know. I'm waiting for tomorrow too. Just let me sleep. No, man, we have to find out. Do you have Mark's location? We're going to get to the... No, I mean, just chill out and wait for the next session. We will find out soon enough.
They were fucking slipping conspiracy theories and shit,
Yeah.
and they thought like I had a grant. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was like, okay, this session we're gonna fight demon gorillas, and we'd play and be like, this is the most amazing session. I'm like, oh, I hope so. I hope they're having fun. But it was very fun.
Did you ever try as a player? I mean, he was the first one that led you into this entire world of tabletop gameplay. Did you ever try leading a campaign? Did you ever try?
Yes. Yes, I tried.
You dipped your fingers into the pool. of Dungeon
Yeah, I
Master.
think it was a week. Or, yeah,
It,
was a week.
it was one session.
Yeah.
He threw a mutated werewolf at me. And it took almost all of my health in one hit. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because he has a basic knowledge to balance that creature. I really didn't. I made one attack. I think it was 6d20 damage. per
Yeah,
player.
that was my bullshit dice sorting for damage thing that I did. And
I mean, it's not your fault. 3.5e D&D was just busted at not scaling.
we made it busted.
Come on,
we
man.
made it busted.
We had a
There's no daggers in D&D 3.5. We're like 5d20 plus 45 damage.
Yeah.
Also, I had no skill caps for investing experience.
That was about
So
to
what
say- I was
happened
about to
was
say that. Yeah.
one of the players had a 77 in animal handling. So they'd be walking along the savannah and he'd see some fucking mountain lions and shit, and he'd go like, pss, 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 pss. And I'm like, wait, you're gonna tame the mountain lions? Yeah. Oh, he rolls a 1. 79. And they're like, and you fucking tame them. I'm good. Oh, I bring them with me. What do you mean you bring them with you? And I throw meat. Where the fuck did you get the meat from? Oh, you want me to roll another animal handling? So he tamed fucking mountain lions, gorillas.
The last thing that he tamed was a T-Rex in the pirates' capital.
Yeah, and they took
And
the T-Rex
horror
across the sea.
The horror that came after that was just because the T-Rex was in the cage, I think.
Yeah.
And the other player was shopping for the materials in the shop. He went out and he see horror. Just horror, because he tamed the T-Rex and he was like, eat them. He destroyed half of the pirate capital.
Just by walking.
Cross was like, Abraham, what are you going to? I'm just staring. I can do shit. What the fuck do you want me to do with the T-Rex?
You know how he tamed it? He put a hand on his face and he said, "You're mine now." And the T-Rex went,
Basically.
Asuma.
Basically.
He fucking
Basically.
took him over.
That's fucking amazing. I do have a follow-up question because you've tried DMing, you've played. Once you go over, at least that's my opinion. Once you go over like 5 sessions, 10 sessions, you already get into the groove of a character, of the story.
Yeah.
And when the session starts, you're pretty much in character and you're in the zone. You exactly know how the character thinks and everything and what he would do. So I consider you to be a veteran of the arts. But
can you just
this is now a follow-up question to the entire project of Cosmic Delirium.
project?
You play tested the game several times with us.
The game that, if you're a new listener, we're working on a sci-fi tabletop RPG. So be advised. Please continue.
I think I was like a teacher every time the Mark brought new players to Cosmic Delirium, because for me it's like I want them to feel imagination in every session. They really want they play by the rules. We didn't give a shit about the rules. Every session that Mark came up with, he was like, yo, we're going to play a pirate session. We're like, okay. Yo, we're going to play medieval fucking Dragon Slayer or anything like that session. We're like, we don't care. We're going to fuck you up. Because that was the first time that he understand I cannot go by the rules. I will
He's a great beta tester, because you think you've got all the rules covered, and then his character's on a ship, and he's like, I want to jump out of the ship and ram into the other ship and take it over. I'm like, what the fuck do I roll for this shit? Because nobody would do that.
You cannot think about you cannot think that, because he was like, okay, I will make this road and I think they will follow this road. No. The road didn't start. We will already turn left or right. We really didn't give shit. That is why I asked him, can I come to any of your session just to tell these new players the art of imagination. Nothing
and
more.
Rebellion.
Yeah, I mean, I respect him as a DM because the storyline, everything that he comes up, which is amazing. Because back at school, when this dude had a week to think about the next session, which is fucking amazing. I mean, come on, we were hyped. We bought snacks, we bought drinks, anything like that. The last session of the D&D was like 12, 15 hours.
Not 15. I think like 10 hours. We played for like 10 to 11 hours.
Half a day.
And they drew.
I drew the map.
Abe drew the map, a map of the last battle, like the positions and shit, and it was fucking amazing. We actually recorded it, but our friend's computer got corrupted, and it is now forever lost and never to be recovered.
The joy, the panic. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the good thing, since we are a bit straying off the topic, but it is still.
What topic? What the fuck are you talking about?
Let me finish. Listen to this.
Okay, producer.
Being a good DM, it's something that you pick up as you go. There are all kinds of players, but I put them into two categories. You have a category of players that simply just doesn't think and follows the path that's been
the NPC.
Laid.
That's the NPC player.
Yeah, I mean that's like your typical game. Like imagine, I don't know, Call of Duty games, for example.
Okay.
Like you go out, you start shooting, you ran into an NPC. He's like, "We need help on Northern 68th Street. The Germans are attacking."
Nice.
The Germans are attacking.
The first thing that came up to your mind.
But we're off the coast of Alaska.
Help us out. and you just go there, you help out, and then another
Help!
NPC
The Russians are taking over the U-Mart.
once you prevent an attack, another NPC or a radio comes in, and then you go to the next location and you finish up the quest. Singular, let's say, like line you follow, you go that, and that's done. But you also have second type of player that I mean it's a great thing. It's what you just said. I personally want to have these kinds of players, and most of the time, for some reason, players as I lead the session, first 2 sessions they might follow the way, but after that something happens to them and they decide to fuck up the entire
That's as
thing.
far as their respect for you goes. 2 sessions.
But it's not it makes things even more fun because then I just make a layout. I have all these NPCs. I have random things happening there, and depending on their actions, I think of instantaneously what would happen realistically in that setting. So having these kinds of players like Cave, that's both a blessing and a curse, because if you're not quick on your feet, you get fucked in the ass. You get so fucked in the ass. And
Yeah,
you have to
some
improvise.
shit happens, and if you're not used to improvising, you're literally like, can we take a 20-minute break?
Yeah.
You gotta go take a shit.
Are
You
you-
go sit on the toilet and you don't take a shit. You just take out your notes and then you.
Yeah,
Oh, shit, what's next?
you rip out 7 pages of notes. Like fuck.
No,
fuck.
I think
you
Ross,
put
that
it
happened to you because the first campaign that he played was with us, the OGs, let's say, me and 2 friends. But the next campaign was the friends from Gymnasium. Is that right?
No,
And that was-
no. First campaign was with you guys. We played a fantasy campaign. When it was the basic, saving the world type shit, because we were new to it. But we had a lot of fun. Then I was like, let's do something interesting, because they were talking about Pirates of the fucking Caribbean, and I played Black Flag. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I was like, man, I'm itching for some looting, man. I'm itching for some free bootin', tootin', galootin', motherfucker. I want to storm a goddamn English frigate and rob
was
some
the hardest campaign.
and rob some Spaniards of their goddamn cotton. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, let's do a time skip of like 150 years into the future. So their characters, they like became world renowned, and their story went, and like most of it people believed, because it was so fucking fantastical what happened in the last battle, like fucking meteors falling from the sky, giant ass fucking dragons and shit. This fucking guy
I fucking hate that.
had
that
three
last battle.
had 3 katanas. One was a demon one. We'll get to that one.
Yeah. I fucking hate
One
that.
was a demon one, and he could fucking summon tornadoes and shit. Like, Sonny, he was Yasuo before Yasuo was a fucking thing. I'm gonna sue Riot for it. Yasuo didn't fucking crawl out of the cum-ridden canals of Riot, the Riot development pipe. Before that, we had fucking katana wielding.
They retrieved the corrupted PC and they restored the data. Right, this seems pretty fucking cool. Let's take this and make it into something else. But
They
when you
fucking
mentioned
stole
the three fucking katanas and shit. That was
Zoro.
from
It was.
One
He wanted. He wanted to be
100%
Zoro.
was Zoro.
He wanted to be Zoro. I'm like, who the fuck is this green faggot? I'm like, oh, he has 3 katanas, one in the mouth. I'm like, what the fuck? How does that work? Who gives a shit? And we put it in, and there was that like fantastical battle and all that shit. And like 150 years later, everyone was like, dude, that's legend and all that. But even one of the players became like the emperor, made his own fucking kingdom and shit, because
of the mines.
because they discovered a mine filled with fucking thousands of tons of gold and they had adamantium and diamonds and shit. So they crashed the economy. They ruined multiple kingdoms just by trading with them, because the inflation went to shit. They prevented a race war. They didn't prevent it. They just pushed it back about 200 years. It still happened. But good effort. And 150 years later, the new campaign was, they're like fucking pirate scum. They're shit. They're nothing. They're like on the totem pole of society. They were dirt shit, and nobody gave a fuck about them. But then they became notorious pirates and shit. So that was fun. But the story about the
I don't
what
want
I
to tell
did,
it.
I did the classic fucking thing in my first campaign. I was like, all right, you need to save the world from this fucking big evil creature. I used Tiamat, the many-headed dragon.
Yeah. The typical D&D trope.
Typical D&D trope. And I was like, you need to gather 3 special weapons wielded.
Godly weapons.
Huh?
Godly.
Godly weapons that were wielded by the champions.
Don't
who,
laugh. Just don't laugh.
Champions who defeated Tiamat once, long, long ago in a distant land. Aye. And they found each of them found their own weapons in time, but Abe's finding of the weapon was a bit of a fuckery.
The first two, the second was comedy. The first was like epicness, but mine was just traumatic experience because the first one was our friend with Warhammer, right?
Yeah, he found a warhammer of a mighty some fucking warrior. I can't remember. That was blessed with the blood. I mean, blessed, more like fucking cursed. Like it literally seeped in all of the blood of every enemy that it ever killed, and
it was just a normal battle. He had HP. We fought and we took the weapon. For the daggers, we were drinking with gods, and I.
Jesus, you drank with God.
They went to
Valhalla.
They literally went to Valhalla.
Oh my God.
And
We went to
they were
Valhalla.
like they came. I literally ripped off Skyrim's Sovereign God. Where there's that big fucking guy who's guarding the bridge. He's like, you cannot cross. You need to fight me if you want to cross. And they were like, well, okay, we'll fight you. Like, okay, let's fight. And they fought.
No, I used stealth and steal the fucking daggers.
Yeah, they were like while they were talking about fighting, one of the players was like, "Oh yeah, fucking sneak in, bitch!" And he's like, "So I'm going to hit you with my fist." He's like, "Okay, so can I like respond with a defense?" "Yes, you can, but then I will stick you with my sword." "Oh, that's very nice." "Oh yes, it was given to me by my mother, Sigrun the Bold." They're fucking talking about it. The other guy sneaks into Valhalla, and he's looking at the gods. And like Odin's there, he's drinking. Thor's drinking. Loki's drinking. So he disguises himself, and he sits with him. He's like drinking and shit. We're like, Odin's talking to him. He's like, you are a mighty warrior, so you came here. Like, yeah, totally, bro. And then he sees Loki fucking pass out, and Thor's like, "Hey, you fucking little shit!" And he's making fun of him. So he's like, "Yeah, let me swipe damn Loki daggers, motherfucker." So he steals his daggers. He pops out of the fucking long hall. Goes back to the guys. "So I take the buckler and I shove you in the head." I'm like, "Yeah, but what if I block it?" "Well, that is good, but you know what? We're not gonna fight you." "What? Are you sure?" "Yeah, we're good." Literally holding Loki's daggers there.
Yeah.
"Okay. Nice travels." And they came back. So it was comedy.
So the what about? I'm more interested. We have the hammer. That's the second weapon, right?
That's the second.
The first one is the comedy trope with the gods and shit with the daggers. And your weapon, what weapon did you use?
Let me give some context to the location.
Just shut up.
Just let him explain the location.
It's important. The location is important. The location is in the middle of a blasted wasteland of white sand and ash, and in the middle of it is a ruined city, like a ruined tower made of white
crystals.
It had crystals and white, like white metal stones. It was really weird, like it was melted, and
a coffin.
And in there were the residents that used to inhabit that civilization. They were like twisted, fucking pale elves with soulless eyes and shit, and they all
Too much corrupted. Yeah.
And-
Soulless being.
And he found out that there was a warrior.
There was a warrior that had the legendary samurai sword, and he was like, yeah, just because we already took these two godly weapons, and I'm like, well, fuck it, let's just battle one more battle, and
You
we're
were like
finished.
level 12 at the time.
Yeah, we were already max level.
No. Next level is 20.
Yeah.
This is the first time you went there.
Yeah. And the battle started, and we fought like what 30.
Yeah, but what happened? You can't just say the battle started. Then it ended.
No,
What
I
happened?
don't
What happened? You
understand.
went there,
Oh yeah.
the three of you.
And there was a coffin, right? And I keep forgetting his name. What was his name?
I don't fucking know. I damaged
fuck it,
I damaged my brain with
Tim was
marijuana for a year.
Tim was laying with the sword, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so fucking beautiful. In my mind, I think he's dead. I grabbed the sword. This dude pops his eyes open, and I'm like, okay, so this is happening. He pushed me like 20 feet away. These two dudes with godly weapons didn't use shit as a godly weapon. None of them. They used their common weapons. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to fuck him. I'm going to dodge. I'm going to do and any of that shit. He nearly killed me. So we back out. And I'm like, okay, we're going to do next session. I'm pumped. I the first time that I wrote what ability that I have, I never wrote it. The first time I wrote the ability, I'm going to use Windfall, I'm going to use Dash, I'm going to use Second Attack. Again, failed. This dude fucked me up 4 months.
It was a grind.
Not in V, I'm not talking about in-game 4 months. I'm talking real life 4 months.
Like they would do side shit and then they'd come back to try.
I was so desperate.
and then when you they had in those 4 months of play, they like gathered a fucking cult around them because people started worshiping them as gods, even though they were like, we're not gods, chill, we're trying to kill a god. And like, you're fucking gods. And like, no, I'm not a god. I'm just trying to kill a god. And
we forgot to say we had a god that we worship. His name was Bahamut, right?
yeah, Bahamut.
And the main thing for Bahamut is don't kill.
Don't kill innocents. They killed a lot of innocents.
We killed so much innocence.
Every city they visited, there was death in the streets.
But luckily, we had so much gold, and we built a statue of Bahamut.
They you know what they did? They did what the Catholic Church does. Every time they sinned by fucking a child or killing tens of thousands of Muslims in the Middle East, they were like, raise a church. So there was the place where the mine was, where their base was, where the fucking economy was growing. There was an entire like grass field, a huge grass plains around them, and you just fucking see statues of Bahamut going up and little villages around them going, oh my god, you know, fucking.
That's totally schizophrenic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, you just don't understand how much statue we built in one session.
I think they built like 30-something Bahamut statues that if there was one Bahamut statue on planet Earth, people would be like, this is the most magnificent fucking building I've ever seen in my life. And so a lot of priests and monks that worship Bahamut were like, oh, these fucking guys love Bahamut, man. This is fucking amazing. So they had a religious fucking army waiting for the final battle. And then the last time you went,
The last time I was,
you were like level 17.
Yeah, I was so desperate. Yeah, I was so desperate. I was in my dojo. I was like, I'm going to kill myself if I have 1 month more to fight this beast. And then a dude came into my dojo and was like, yo, what's up? Why are you with what are you fighting? And like, I don't know, man. Some undead fucking champion bullseye. I don't
Imagine
know,
this
Chad.
fucker. He fought this guy like 7 times, and he doesn't even know his fucking name yet. He hasn't even done the historical research.
I fucking hate it.
He's like, I did this. He's got a weapon, and I need it. Well, who is he? Maybe we can realize, you know, maybe if we read some history, we can find out how he got killed. No, I'm taking the fucking weapon. I'm not reading. That's fucking gay. I'm not reading.
This dude then, so at least tell me what is he. I don't know, he's undead. Undead. Yeah, undead. Did you by any chance use paladins? I was like, the fuck I'm going to do with paladins? You know they do 10 times damage with their holy shit.
Holy shit.
I know I then I know I got to Shone and asked for, I think it was
That's
like,
one of the players.
yeah, I think it was like 1,000,000 golds, and I spent with, I think, about like a 1,000 paladins. And
Yeah, they just went to every paladin and were like, "Do you want to kill an undead abomination?" And you're like, "Holy shit, yes! Here's some gold. Holy shit, yes!" And they brought like, it wasn't thousands.
it was 1,000.
They brought like 300 paladins and 400 priests.
Yes, the Holy Crusade.
They literally went on a crusade into the Deadlands
I really wanted
because he
that
wanted
sword.
a weapon.
I really wanted that sword.
Jesus Christ.
And then finally, that fucking Tim was beaten. And he
They
was like,
suppressed his power with their fucking holy magic and their belief in Bahamut. Meanwhile, these guys were like, "Hey!" hitting them with their swords.
and then I was like, I asked Cross, can I now take the weapon? You can.
And it was like a demon blade katana, like fucking infested and shit, infected with all STDs and like every disease imaginable. It was awful.
He was laying on the ground, and I was like so happy. I mean, there were 2 minutes of my proudest moment, and I reached it, and this dude was like, "Oh yeah, just roll D20, take 15 health per minute," and I was like, "What?" You cannot wield it until you're 20.
Until you're level 20.
Level 20.
You're not power. I know. I told him this. You're not powerful enough to wield it, and he looked at me like this. I broke his heart. I broke his fucking heart.
The part that we forgot to tell him, I had monkeys, and in my dojo. How do I?
Oh
say
yeah,
it?
he had.
Plan with
Well, don't
gorillas.
don't call them that. They just have a little bit more.
No, the race was
melon.
gorillas. It's not. They're not gorillas people.
I
They're
know. I
races.
what do you mean, gorillas people? we're gonna have to censor this, mate. We're gonna get in fucking trouble.
I'm just
Hey, look,
listening.
he is
I'm-
black,
I'm just listening.
which has nothing to do with this conversation.
I mean, just,
They were apes, gorillas.
Yeah, they were apes. Yeah.
Gorillas.
About what? How much? 100?
Yeah, fucking 200. They just found some gorillas. They were like some talking gorillas, and they were like, their homes were burned and shit by the demons who were invading. And they were like, "Do you want to live with us?" And they were like, "Ooh, ooh." I'm like, "Is that a yes?" Ooh, ooh. And they went with them.
I never did shrooms, any kind of psychedelics,
gets
but
you-
I believe that this entire shit, like everything that you played, is like
It gets even more fucked up.
A bad and fucked up trip.
It gets even more fucked up because you know where they moved the monkeys? Because at the when all this shit went down, when Tiamat started bursting out and burning motherfuckers, she burned the tree of Yggdrasil. And they recovered a seedling of Yggdrasil and they planted it among the fucking dozens of statues of Bahamut everywhere, and it grew out beautifully. And then they took the talking apes there, and they like, "You can live here. This is your new home." You're like, "Oh, what the fuck? This is the biggest tree we've ever seen. Holy shit!" And then he built a dojo next to it,
And I trained them.
and he trained them.
apes.
He trained them in kung fu, but they didn't learn kung fu because they were fucking apes. So instead of that, they just gave them armor and shit, and they're like,
The strong apes.
strong apes.
But we need to tell him about why the Tiamat woke up.
Oh
The
yeah,
mistake that we.
yeah. This is the most fucking amazing part of the whole
The
campaign.
reason why we became the legendary
the
warriors,
the replacement champions.
the replacements, we killed the main 3 warriors.
Let me just give you some fucking background. At that point, nobody fucking knew who these guys were. the three players. They were like homeless people, and they were ripping off people for money. They had a bag of holding and a shrink spell, and there was a horse they parade. They were like, "Oh, the shrinking horse! Take a look!" And the horse was very healthy at the beginning. You know, they fed him a little bit. They gave him water.
We forgot about the horse for 5 months.
Let me get to that. They went to a dwarven city, and they were like, "Hey, the shrinking horse." They shrink it. I think you used a wand or some shit. So you didn't even know magic.
No. I didn't. I was not in that place. I was.
You weren't there yet.
The only two people that were there were Nele and Shone.
Nele and Shone.
They were doing marketing trade with the horse.
They were doing fucking Andrew Tate shit in the dwarven capital. Like, look at this disappearing horse. It fucking shrink. They put it in a bag of holding. Where is it? Oh,
You just need to understand something.
50 gold, please. And they made a lot of money.
Yeah. The only problem is that was my bag of holding for all the katanas that I made fighting with different people.
Yeah, but that was in the future.
Yeah. Okay. There
And
were like 50 katanas
so they
and a
did
horse
that.
there with no food.
They did that. They did the trick a couple of times, and they put the horse back into the extra-dimensional pocket of reality, which is the bag of holding. And then you joined, and then a couple of months passed, and they were like, "Wait a minute. Didn't we, like, fucking put a horse in the bag of holding?" And so they check, and it's like... Imagine if you're in a like an extra-dimensional space, everything is dark, and it's full of thousands and thousands of weapons that these fucking homeless guys have been stealing and putting over there. And then there's this fucking malnourished horse shaking, going... He's got cuts and shit because wherever he lays, he gets cut by the fucking swords. And then a hole opens up in the sky, and you see a face like this. And he goes... So they took it out in the middle of town. And they were like, Jesus Christ, this is depressing. And they chopped his fucking head off.
Unless and put him out of misery.
People started screaming and shit. Children started crying when they saw it. But how the fucking incident.
The fucking incident.
Yeah, so they did that with the horse.
I think it was a mind or something.
Yeah. Do you know what thing? They were looking for a job.
Yeah.
And one of the dwarves said to them, like, "Hey, the path up the mountain is closed. Nobody can go in there, so stay clear. Stay clear from that place." And they're like, "Oh, okay." Literally 5 minutes later, they're going up the fucking mountain trail. The guards are like, "Hey, don't go there. There's some shit happening." They're like, "Fuck you," and they kept going. And they get to a huge, like, secret tunnel. And there's a lot of fucking corpses around. One of the corpses is him. Is Abe.
Yeah.
He's like this fucking charred human warrior with black, leathery skin because it's like his soul was sucked out, wearing samurai shit. So they picked him up and they're like, "Oh shit, you okay?" He's like, "No." And they took them. We
went in.
The three of them. They just went in.
We didn't even care what.
Didn't even fucking care what was happening.
It's not that we didn't care. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't assume that
They were like,
anything
"Hey,
was bad.
this tunnel is cool.
Yeah,
This is pretty fucking cool. Let's fucking go down the tunnel." So they went down the tunnel, and they get to a fucking huge antechamber with a massive fucking hole in the ground that goes on forever down.
That was sealed at first. It
was sealed.
And
It was half sealed.
It was half sealed.
The seal was broken, and there were three people
trying to fight.
Using their hands like this and trying to, fuck with it. It was sus. It was sussy. They were fucking doing something. They were like putting fucking, some bullshit, casting spells and shit. And so they went, "Oh, this looks bad. Should we kill him?" And one of the other players with the war, who would eventually get the Warhammer, half Jad, he went, yeah. So they fucking killed them, and the seal broke, and they unleashed an ancient evil entity
With 5 heads.
with 5 dragon heads.
I like how
And
most of these situations and most of these fuck-upperies are your people's doing. Like, everything that players do, they just fuck up, and then they try to fix the mess, and the mess is even worse than it was before, until everything is kind of cleared up.
literally, if they were just like, oh, let's see what happens, it would be sealed, and then they'd go off and, get a new horse to put in the bag. Yeah, but no, then a dragon came for them, and he was like, "Get on my back, you fucking cunts!" And they're like, "Okay," and they climbed, and they took the dragon took them to Bahamut, and he was like, "What the fuck did you do?" We
You forgot about Nelly. Nelly was in the tree when we rescued him. We're going to Bahamut.
Oh, yeah. So it wasn't the 3 of them. It was the 2 of them that killed those fucking guys. And this is why I hate this player, Nele. I fucking hate him. I told him, hey.
Oh, yeah. About the name.
At the point in which the dragon was taking the 2 of them to Bahamut, one of our good friends, Nele, wanted to join in on the fun. I was like, okay, create a backstory. Choose a character name, and pick a class. He only picked the class. No backstory. No fucking name. Not even a name. He didn't even come up with a fucking name. They just called him, hey. Not even a name. Like, hey, you. Come over here. And that's why the legend, like
Nameless
150 years later, he was called the Nameless One. Because his player character was like, hey, I know what name, man.
Imagine if you had a legend in your life and he was called the Nameless One, that he was too lazy to come up with a name for himself.
Yeah, because the god controlling him was too fucking lazy to come up with a name. So he was just, this is the level of schizophrenia of this campaign. He's in they're flying across the continent on the dragon, and Nele's character is down there in a fucking tree being tortured by cultists that are stabbing him in the kidney. He's like, he's like, oh, fuck. And the dragon, this is my bullshit DMing. The 2 of these who have been doing nothing but killing innocent civilians point down there and go, we should help him. Because that's what we do, right? So they pick him up. So imagine this guy. Imagine Nele. He's like in front of Bahamut, a god. He's going, what the fuck did you do over there? Did you just fucking free Tiamat? He's like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, it was fucked up.
That sums up the whole session, right?
Everything that you just heard, it fucking exhausted me. I'm not gonna lie. If this was something that's simple, like it's a very simple and straight, but the fuck-uppery, the bullshit that you guys did, the schizo moments that you had, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
literally, what the fuck?
And we did that 2 times a week.
But listen, honestly, these kinds of campaigns that when you start playing and when you have a new dungeon master, they're like cliche and shit. They're literally the most fucked up ones, but as your first experience, you always remember them for life. Like, they're literally one of the best things that you ever played.
It was fun.
Or led. Yeah. But that's fucking good. I'm glad. Unlike my first experience, this takes the cake, honestly. My first experience compared to this is literally nothing. But yeah,
we played for like a year and
3-4 months.
That
That's
is
true.
the main reason that we love that game, that sort of playing, because we did not start the campaign for 3-4 days and then we lost interest. We played for a year and plus.
we skipped school.
I mean, you need to understand, he was in a school that was like right across my school, and Shone was in a different city school, and Nelly was in the same school that I were, and every fucking break we had in school, we came to him, we talked, we were like, what would happen next? He didn't want to spoil it, as you say it. And we just didn't give a shit about school. I mean, we give a shit about school.
I
but
did not give a shit about school.
Okay.
I was like, I don't care if I fail this year, as long as I get to play D&D this week, I'm fucking good, baby. I had
For
like,
me, it's not like that. I mean,
I almost failed school because of D&D.
Yeah, let's just finish my job and then I'm cool. I don't have anything to worry about school. I did my, let's say, homework, or I did my presentation. I don't give a shit. I know I'm free Saturday and Sunday. I turn my brain for school and I activate my brain for
Because he was a good student. Good boy.
I'm like,
that's
all right,
bullshit.
all
You
right,
know that
someone.
bullshit.
What I wanted to ask you is the reason why I wanted to ask you. I mean, comparing as a veteran D&D player, as a person who played D&D for a shit ton of time, when you've tried Cosmic Delirium, when you played it, how did you like it? And we're still not done, but this is essentially like the beta. No, but it's the
beta.
The beta situation, because he literally played the early access as well.
He played early access, mid access.
Yeah, every stage we had, we literally
I
covered
think
with
it
you.
was at the I was at the beginning, right?
You played one of the beginning versions, and you played a mid version too.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you like it?
Quite much, because it was something new. It was not as exactly as D&D, but it had something.
Give him the money. V, give him the money.
No, you're never. No, for real. It's not. Thank you. It's not. It's something new.
Edit
It's
that
something
out.
to experience. It's more about what my next move will be. It's not that much about imagination. So I like that. It's new rules. I don't have to follow the god that is D&D and anything like that. But I want to make something that players have to think about. He knows at the beginning of D&D, I really hated mages. Because all of our friends were like, wait, I need to check it. I need to see how the radius of my fireball. I always play warrior. I don't give a shit. I'm going to throw my axe. I'm going to throw my friend. I'm going to throw this cow. I'm going to throw myself or anything like that. I don't really. That is the majority I like about these games, because it brought friends together. And what you made, it's something even better, because okay, now I will have consequences if I let my imagination go flow. But if I follow this list I have, if I follow my block, I need to invest in my block, I need to invest in my attack, I need to, I don't know, see the surroundings I have, maybe I can use anything in that. That is what, like, the first time, that is why I'm telling Mark over here, every time that you have a session, just bring me. I don't want to play it. I just want for new players to have a little bit of imagination, because they didn't experience D&D, the first ones. They just experienced Cosmic Delirium, and you were like, these are the rules, this is attack, this is defense, and we're like, okay, we need to stick to that. No, you don't have. You just have to have a little bit of imagination. Maybe there is a brick wall, maybe there is a secret entrance. You don't know until you point your head in the brick wall. You don't know what's out there. You don't know if you don't try it. So I like it.
Nice.
The thing, I mean, this is very much depending
nice.
on the dungeon master / cosmic master. It really
Nice, I love it.
It really depends on the GM / CM / DM. Personally, when I started with people who literally played maybe 2 or 3 games before. Like, they were not that into it. Like, they when I started CD with them, they were literally just younglings, fresh bloods, young bloods. They saw how invested I was and how I literally allowed everything. Like, if you think that you can pull something off, even though it's not written in the rules. But you see a motherfucker holding a gun, and you roll, let me just see if he has anything useful on him. They roll perception to check that. And I'm like, there's 6 people there. They rolled high. Probably some of them have grenades. I say, yeah, there's a fucking grenade there. Perfect, we don't have to shoot everyone one by one. Can I shoot the grenade? Yeah, sure, you can try. Because you're trying to accurately point into the fucking grenade, if depending on the position. If it's a clear shot, regular roll. Not a clear shot, disadvantage. Fucking shoot the grenade and kill everyone. And they avoid the combat completely. And when they do that, their minds are like, oh shit! Oh, we just did a terrorist attack! And it's literally judging the DM sets the bar. If you have the guy who's leading, who is a tight ass, who doesn't want to let people do what they do, they're writing a book, they're not leading a game.
We have one of them.
Yeah.
There's always these people. I don't have anything against them. In my personal opinion,
K is sometimes like that. K likes to pull some. Yeah, if you're listening, motherfucker, you like to pull some fucking bullshit.
It's just not fun. I don't personally prefer those games.
It's not about the fun, because you need to make it interesting so the players want to come. It's not about he never told us, hey, please come. He was like, Friday night we play, and there was not question about it.
It wasn't a suggestion; it was an order.
It was an order.
We play on Friday.
We had a friend that did a session. It was a week, and boy, oh boy, I really didn't. Kong.
Oh.
I heard the tales, but
I really love that guy to death. But there's so much rules. I cannot. I mean, I really thought about doing cocaine right there at my table, because of how desperate the session was. You have to go that. You have to collect that. You have to save that.
He literally gave us a World of Warcraft quest. Where it was like, you need to go and bring me 7 wolf pelts. And we're like, what the? Why 7? Well, there's a lot of wolves around. Yeah, but why 7? Why not 5? Can I kill 3 big wolves and then divide it into like 6 pelts?
Yeah.
Could that work? No, there need to be 7 wolf pelts. Why 7? Why does he need to be 7? I got fucking pissed and shit. But his DMing skills are, you know what he DMs like? You know that archetypal fat incel anime lover guy? That's him times 100. It's awful. He once wanted to play in one of my D&D sessions, if you remember. He wanted to play. Oh my god, I can't fucking believe that this almost happened. He wanted to play 700-year-old vampire in the body of a 12-year-old girl.
I didn't know about that.
That was fucking awful.
There's a reason. I didn't know about that.
There's a reason why you guys don't know about it, because I was like, I'm taking this to my fucking grave.
The disgusting tone of voice from Abraham when I didn't know about that.
I didn't know.
No, I mean, I played a couple of sessions with him, and every time with Pavle, it was the most interesting.
Let's not name any names, man. Let's not fucking dox people here.
Oh, but we will be censored.
Come on, Abe, man.
Okay, how do you call him?
Who?
The friend.
The tit man.
The what?
The tit man.
The tit man.
The man with the tits.
The man with the tits.
The man with the tits.
The tit man. Call him tit.
The influx king.
I thought really after Kong there was nobody that was, let's say, cringe at that time.
Yeah.
That was more cringe than him. He called me one time. He was like, "Yo, I'm."
That was Titty.
Titty Kang. I'm doing a session. Would you like to?
You're not doing the voice right. Oh, hey guys.
I'm currently milking myself.
And I was like, why the fuck not?
Hey, okay, so he calls you. Oh, I'm gonna
No. Call me.
Yeah. I'm calling you right now. I'm Titty King. I'm like, oh, Hey, Abraham.
Can you go and get me a glass of water, please?
Hey, Abraham. Do you want to
hold
play a session with me?
I mean, he didn't call me about the session. You called me.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, he called me about the session. He was like, "Yo, dude, we're here. We have a session." That was the first time I met you.
The TD man is lactating. TDK.
Yeah, and I was like, "Why the fuck not? What is it about? Yo, you will find out." Do I need to make any character? Do I need to make a story? No. I know what do you want. I will make for you. Oh, like, okay. And then I came here and I was like, okay, this session starts and this dude follows the code of the wind or anything bullshit like that. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, okay, I will do that. No, you cannot do that. Why? Because you cannot. I will not allow it. I will shoot you. And I was looking at Cross. I mean, is he for real going to shoot me? Yeah, man, he follows the code of the wind. He's a sniper. I mean, do you understand that I'm 180, 200 pounds? I will smack the shit out of you in game and in real life. What the fuck do you say? No, man, you have to follow. No, like, okay, this dude has... Maybe he's in character because of the game.
Be nice.
And no, even after the game, he was like that. Oh, okay. You know what? I appreciate you. Fuck it. You're that kind of man. And then I meet you on the other hand on a mountain with 57 bombs in your hand trying to destroy half of the planet. I like this guy too. You have my friends, Mark. Let's meet them all. So no, I mean, it all depends on as you said, on the DM. It's the level of imagination that some player has. As a DM, as a Cosmic Delirium master or anything like that. Because even if you have basic knowledge of DM, you cannot make a session. I tried. I mean, he liked it, but
but I wasn't really a good mentor at the time. I wasn't a good mentor.
I had a field. I had monsters that are way overpowered. I had voices that I did on my own. I had soundtracks. I had maps. But it's not for me to do it every single time. I really want to play it. I mean, the only part that he made me be a DM was because he wanted to have a break he wanted to play.
You gotta understand, V. I didn't play as a player character for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I was the DM all the time because I was the one who brought the fucking game to Parachin. There was no one else, literally no one else. And I was like, Abe, please.
Yeah.
Please, Abe, I need a fucking week of rest, Abe. Just make something up.
The memories that we got because of my place. I had a basement down there with a huge wooden table, and I didn't serve them like these glasses of water. I served them like jugs of water, like
fucking glass jars.
Fucking amazing.
And there's too much food because he knows we're old friends. Because every time he like, yo, Abraham, I'm hungry. You know where the fridge is. I am not going to even tell you what you want to eat. Just open the fridge and dig yourself in.
The kind of thing that you mentioned when you led the game your first time, I had a similar experience. I was literally, he was my first player.
I was his first.
I literally wanted to give it a go. I had some bullshit ideas. It fucking sucked. It fucking sucked so much. The encounters
there were some nuggets there.
The encounters were broken. Everything was fucked. The story was fucked. Everything was garbage. No, he's trying to sugarcoat it. It was trash. Yeah. It was trash. Like if I were to give it a rating, it would not even be a 1 out of 10. It was trash, hot garbage.
0.5.
And we finished, and I'm like, did you like the session? And he's like, yeah, it was good. It was great, but you should work around this, that, and this. And I'm like, man, he didn't like shit. But after that, I instead of being like, yeah, this is not for me, I'm just giving up, I decided to work on it. Yeah. And it didn't take me that long. I continued to play with him, and I picked up his skills. I took a shit ton of his DMing skills, took them, modified them, changed them to make them my own. And after that, one session, I felt that it was better. Another session with different groups, like 4 or 5 sessions, it just went on. And I do enjoy playing the game more, whether it be D&D, Cosmic Delirium, whatever the fuck. I enjoy being the player more than a dungeon master. But if I have a good idea, that quickly changes.
The main problem with other players, for me, I'm just saying for me to be a DM was with my session, we didn't speak English. That was at the beginning. That was my problem. I was saying I'm not that good. I cannot speak.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I mean, Mark was. That's bullshit.
Our whole first campaign that I played with you guys, we did it in Serbian, and the second campaign I did all the voices in English because I was, hey, let's try it out, and it was, and I told him, you guys use Serbian. It's no problem, and I think it was a better combination.
But imagine it if you're taking a campaign in Serbian. It's not the same when it's in English. Trust me.
It's base as fuck though.
It's just
every
really,
dwarf sounded like a Bosniak.
Yeah. That is the main problem. That is why even to this day I don't have problem having a conversation. I understand him completely fine. He was the main reason I taught myself English, because every time we go out to get a coffee or hang out or anything like that, in the middle of conversation, he would just switch to English and just talk.
Yeah.
There are so many times that we sat down in a pub or a cafe, and he was like, "Okay, I'm going to order. Let's just say an orange juice." He looked at the how the fuck do you call them?
The menu.
No, the waiter. The waiter. And he was looking at him. I forgot how to say orange in Serbian. And I was like,
yeah, and it's literally naranja.
Yeah. And I was his translator every single fucking time, because he was like, Abraham, I forgot the word. How do you say it in Serbian?
Abraham, how do you say salt?
So yeah, basically he was and all other friends because of the games. Every game that we played.
Changing lives, man. Changing lives, man.
So yeah, I really every time that the first time that he pointed out the Cosmic Delirium, I was all for it, because for me it's better to do something that you really love than something that you're doing on top of your dick.
Yeah.
It's retarded for me. It's not. He was like, "Oh, I made this. I'm going to send you this." I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed the drawings. I really enjoyed the writing. He was the first thing that I read in English because it was so fucking good.
Oh, come on.
No, for real. Because I told him this. There are majorities of adventure books or explorer books or warrior books, legend books or anything, but I didn't read the first time that I read his. That was the first time I saw. Let's just make a book about the point of view of some people. Let's just express his emotion. It's not about, a great warrior is going to a battlefield. He loves his wife. He's died. His child will become the revenger. No, he was
his name is Kratos.
Yeah. It's not. When I first read it, he was like, "Oh, this dude is in is in a cell. He's mentally ill. He's hallucinating. He's talking to other guy," which is really interesting. I mean, and the main part of the Cosmic Delirium of the books of the D&D is to broad people and for you to express what kind of character you wanna play. I mean, I really hate mages, but I don't want to stop anybody for being mages. They really love it. They really want to express themselves to be a mage. We had one dude who is in a wheelchair. He was an old veteran sniper. Yeah, for real. He hated everybody. He wanted to kill every single one. And he killed, there were 2 dudes that for them to combine, they will make a key for the next island. This dude in wheelchair forgot about that and shoot one of them. The other dude was mad and he fucking murdered us. I mean, I was the last one. I found the shovel and I started digging a hole. I was already accepting my death.
They are attacking you and killing you. What are you gonna do? Is like, I take a shovel and I start digging my grave.
Yeah,
like, okay.
I really accept my death. I know what happened. I cannot. change the events.
It was
or
a
anything.
very unfortunate miscalculation where I brought 2 more players to guest in, and they decided to be the chaos factor and ruin everything.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's what makes a good story, a compelling story.
Memories.
Yeah. But I'm glad. The good thing, I mean, we mostly talked about tabletops, and I wanted to actually ask Abraham, which I did, about Cosmic Delirium in general, because we don't talk about the game that much. We mention it occasionally, but we don't actually
What's your favorite Cosmic Delirium class?
Did we mention, publish all the classes? Is that public knowledge?
No. But
Okay,
this is like
Yeah,
this is a hint.
snippet.
This is a snippet.
Yeah.
No, so the problem is I cannot think about the names. I know how they look.
Well, I think it's safe to say the
That's-
classes.
Yeah, that's the species, like the creatures. We
Yeah,
already
yeah.
published everything.
The creature.
The species, the
The
xenos.
non-human creatures. You got
the-
all right. You got
yeah.
cyborg, soldier, sniper, psyker, mindwalker, engineer,
Mindwalker.
mutant.
Mindwalker.
You like the mindwalker,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Because of the player that the last time that I came here for a session, one of them was the Mindwalker. Fucking amazing guy. He was like, I'm thinking, what the fuck are you thinking? Do something. I'm going to do something because I'm thinking. Okay.
In short, mindwalkers can control people and manipulate their minds.
Yeah.
We
it's-
actually did a rework. I didn't show you. It's the mindwalker is much more fucked up now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, much more fucked up.
Yeah.
You can play different builds.
Yeah, you literally have variety now as a mind walker. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you
It's
can
pretty
specialize whether you can control multiple people. You can specialize whether you can affect multiple people around you, or you can heavily affect like a single target.
Yeah.
So like
options.
AoE and single target, or you
Yeah.
can combine the two. Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
good. Yeah.
Where we like time wise?
Time wise, we're almost wrapping up.
Oh,
this
boy.
is now my final question as the co-host here.
As the producer.
As the
You
producer.
literally are a producer. You literally produce this podcast, by the way, and you look like it. I fucking love it. I love. From now on, every time we do a pod, you gotta wear a fucking a different type of what the fuck is it called?
A cat, a hat.
A hat, a cat.
I will. I will.
A fucking cat.
When everything goes, when we finally complete the product and everything,
The product.
would you? I mean, we'll of course, as we progress, we'll have like more playthroughs, more one shots with people, and of course you'll be invited to see the final product, the changes that we made, because we did make a shit ton of changes for some classes. Once we wrap up with everything, but so far, would you recommend the game as it was, for someone to play? Like, would you not only recommend, would you tell your friends? He's like, hey man, I have $50 lying around. I wanna buy something.
I got 50
I wanna
Gs.
buy Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. Maybe I'm gonna buy God of War Ragnarok. And would you jump in and say,
Maybe
"Why don't
I'll
you
buy a skin for Cassante, the new hero in League of
Nah,
Legends.
just not that.
would
The
you
biggest mistake.
or would you perhaps you jump in and you're like, would you perhaps be interested in a tabletop RPG called Cosmic Delirium? It's
what do you-
$50.
What he's saying is, would you endorse this product?
Yeah, why the fuck not? Because there are really some people out this world that are more, how they say, society players than they are more like computer players.
No, they're more
Table
social.
Social.
Yeah, they're more social
So
people.
why the fuck not? Because if D&D pop as much as that game, so why the fuck not?
Hey, look, we checked it with the autistic demographic. We had an autistic man play this game, and he fucking loved it. So we can even attract the antisocial ones.
Yeah, but also it depends on people.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has taste. Let's say.
Yeah.
I at the beginning I didn't really like board games. I fucking hated Monopoly. fucking hate that game. Or how the fuck do you say our game in English? That four color pieces that you need to roll the dice and you have to make them in straight line.
Yamb?
No.
No, it's not. It's not that.
Don't be mad, manly. How do you translate that?
No, it's called Neljuti se čoveče, which literally means don't get mad, bro.
Don't get mad, bro.
Come on, bro, don't get mad.
Yeah. I don't know how it's called in English though. I never thought about it.
I don't think they have that.
I think they have something similar. If they don't, we can branch out.
We're doing an English translation.
Yeah.
No, but if you pass these kind of board games, then Cosmic Delirium or any kind of new game will not make a problem. So why the fuck not?
Absolutely fucking scrumptious.
Tremendous.
Glad to hear that.
You will get your drugs and money payment delivered on the usual suspect location. So don't worry about that.
But it was honestly, I had no idea what your experience, and I wanted to learn. I wanted to pick up everything because Mark talked about your campaign, about your experiences, but I never wanted to go into it with him.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go into it with an actual player.
An actual human being.
Yeah, that actually experienced that. So
Not
I was
me.
interested in
Fuck
it.
me in the ass.
I was interested in it, and I'm really glad. As I said, it was fucking tiring. It was like I was listening to this story for 10 hours because so many things happen. Everything is fucked up. But the story and everything, even though it is fucked up and schizo, I can only imagine how great it fucking was because these kinds of fuck-upperies, they really do make the best fucking games. Best stories.
The only thing I'm going to say this because it was our first campaign. I still have the drawing of the final battle.
Oh yeah.
And every fucking one of us, me, Nele, and Shone, have the character sheets of the first thing.
If you manage to find
I know. The
drawing of the map.
I will bring it to
You can take a photo, send it, and I'll put it on the screen so the players can see what the final
Right
map
now,
looks
but
like.
it's in Parachin.
It's in Parachin.
We can add it later on. It's easy. Don't worry. Mr. Producer has your back.
What, you're gonna edit the video when it's up?
Well,
What?
I can work with it.
The fuck?
I got my sources.
So you'll take down
I'll take it down.
and then you'll they're like 0 views. Like,
Man,
I'm a genius.
Who gives a fuck? It's gonna be like same podcast, same title, in brackets with the drawing, with the final battle.
This is awful.
Yeah, but Abe, it's really been a blast. I'm sorry that we had to cut it short by 20 minutes,
Don't
30
be sorry,
minutes.
all things end.
But we will have you on again because there's still a lot of shit we have to talk about. I just wanted to make this like the first overall experience where we talk about games. That's something that's related that we don't usually touch about. But next time it's gonna get a bit more fucked up.
Yeah, we're
talk
gonna be
about-
asking you about your opinion of gay people, but that's we're gonna do that next time. No need to say it. Your facial expression says it all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming to the Cosmic Delirium podcast. Abe, thank you for gracing us with your presence,
Magnificent presence.
your magnificent musk in presence. Producer V, take it away.
I have nothing else to add. Thank you so much for tuning in. Abe, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you all next time on the Cosmic Delirium podcast.
Deuces.
Nazuma.
Goodbye.
Не, по-прошлому сат и 13.